Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. It's 8 o'clock. It's Friday, and it's October, so it's time for a spooky movie review from Case.
For Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July, and we will be open for business.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
Utah. Give me 2.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand.
Now fry like bacon, you little freshman piggies. Fry! Fry!
Playing football in West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life.
Well, here we go. It's Case's movie review, and you might be wondering when we pick a movie like Child's Play, a movie that came out almost 40 years ago. If you're new to the show, we have a lot of new listeners this week. Why is he doing a movie review? Well, Case is 26 years old, and up until going back almost 2 years now, he hadn't seen many movies. Boys in the Hood and Norbit. That was it. And
Paul Blart Mall Cop, as we just
well,
discussed.
that was in there, too.
I remember getting
iconic.
Yes.
Everybody's seen that.
I remember getting the DVD of Paul Blart for Christmas the year that it came out, and that was sort of the highlight of that Christmas.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So now he's seen, maybe 100 movies? Are we to that point yet?
I think so, just about. I mean, we've been doing this since March of last year, and we don't take a lot of days off, so we've been here most Fridays.
So now he's seen like Pulp Fiction and Shawshank and Fight Club and all these movies that, you have seen. I got tired of making references. So now he's a movie guy. Now he's addicted to movies.
I go see new movies all the time.
Yeah, he's keeping theaters afloat now.
I am. I really do like theaters.
And so I wanted to mention that because we had Melissa check in. This is also part of the bit where people, and she's checking in from Chicago Heights, and people love to say now at this point, like, I'm the one that recommended that movie. So Melissa in Chicago Heights says, I'm the one that said Child's Play last year. I'm glad you're finally getting to it today. Thank you from checking in from Chicago Heights. We'll take your word for it. So Child's Play was released November 9th, 1988, a budget of $9 million. It made $44.2 million. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes reports that 73% of the 55 surveyed critics gave the film a positive review. 6.3 out of 10 is the average rating. And just so we get there with Spooky Week to look forward to it, because a lot of people recommended this one, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. That will be live from Alexander's in St. Charles, because we're on site there doing the broadcast from Alexander's in St. Charles. All the information at Q101.com.
It's going to be so fun.
And that'll be live movie reviews, live, Kenzie taking on people in trivia, all that. And we'll have a blast out there in honor of our God Bless the Gravy food drive starting. Just by going, you help people. So there we go. Let's start how we always do with the trailer. So this is how it sounded when it was advertising Child's Play in 1988 on TV.
Child's Play, a terrifying new movie. Something has moved in with the Barkley family. And so has terror. Child's Play. Child's Play. Rated R.
Starts Wednesday, November 9th at a theater near you.
You guys sounded happy at the end.
They started November 9th? What a miss.
Yeah. Also, the sound effects guy in that thing really went overboard. There's almost no plot line, just screaming.
Well, it sounds like it's just war, to be honest.
The ad was banned from ABC and CBS because parents complained that it was too violent for children. NBC said, we're still going to run it, but other networks had issues with the ads for this movie.
Child's Play.
I don't want to hear it again.
There's no dialogue. It's just screaming.
It's a whole trailer of people getting stabbed. I don't know what you want from me. I didn't make the trailer.
I just think it's fascinating to listen to.
Imagine the guy who made the trailer is like, it's what the movie's about. You were complaining.
Yeah. What do you
want from me?
They gave me a sound effects CD with screams and stabs on it. What do you want from me? That's it.
This is the movie.
That's
what happens.
All right, Case, so you watched Child's Play yesterday. What is your review of 1988's Child's Play and the introduction of Chucky into our lives?
So I'm glad I watched this because I knew of Chucky as an omnipresent figure. I've seen the Chucky doll. I didn't know until the middle of September when Kenzie was giving me movies to watch this month that this movie was called Child's Play, that's where he came from. I assumed he was in a movie called Chucky or Chucky Doll. So off the bat...
Chucky Doll.
I felt like I learned so much, which was nice. That I did not know until now that Chucky comes from the Child's Play universe.
Franchise.
For those that haven't seen this movie, what it is a mom buys a doll for her son, and the son is ungrateful and says, I would rather have this other doll. And so the mom has to leave the house, leave her child alone because she's a single mother. I don't think we ever find out what happened to the father.
Oh, went out for cigarettes.
Yeah, and never came back. And
A lot of times the women don't find out what happened to the father either.
So the mom has to go to the mall that she works at, and then she meets a bum in an alley, and I think bum is the most politically correct term I can use, but she meets a bum in an alley, and instead of him slinging, say, cocaine, which this was the 80s, Reagan's America, so there was plenty to go around, he's selling children's toys in a back alley, and he's the one that has this doll. He's the only guy that has this doll available. Again, I don't know why he's not selling drugs. That seems like it would be the better money-making endeavor. But instead, he is selling children's toys. The mom buys it, gives it to the ungrateful child. He's stoked about it. The mom has to go back to work. She doesn't have much money. She's too busy buying toys and alleys for that son. And then as she's at work and her sister is babysitting the child, we find out that the doll is possessed, crazy, a murderer, a doll with a really deep adult voice at times, and then other times a childlike voice, which is really weird.
Yeah.
The doll forces the sister to jump out of a window, and she lands on a car and dies, which is a really violent way to die.
How'd you feel about that?
I didn't like it. I wish she would have lived. Also, I should note, Chicago movie.
Yeah.
I did not know that. How fun is that?
Right?
I told you about that when I put it on your little list. I help him with the spooky movies.
11 months out of the year, I don't need a ton of input. October, I need all the help I can
He knows
get.
who he's calling. Who are you going to call? Me.
So that's a really violent death to start. And then we go through, luckily this movie's only 90 minutes. From there, we go through about 70 minutes of action where I just kept on saying to myself, just shoot the doll. Like, I don't understand why they're not taking their gun out and shooting the doll. And it takes us another 68 minutes about to get us to a point where they finally shoot the doll. Then the movie's over because the problem's mostly solved.
Yeah, then there'll be no movie, though. And maybe he's I think the doll, without, you find out there's no batteries in him.
Yes.
There's some supernatural factor there that might supersede bullets.
Yeah, what's he going to leak stuffing? I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Well, but that's what I don't understand is the doll, I don't understand where its powers come from because the doll got struck by lightning, but then also there's like a voodoo doll at play because there's one black guy in the movie, which I just like to make note of on these 80s movies, that it's not the most diverse cast I've ever seen, but there's one black guy in the movie.
There's one black guy.
Hey, we got one. We got one. Don't
His
worry,
name wasn't
everybody.
Token in the credits, was it?
No, I think it was something a little on the nose, though. And at one point, Chucky has like a voodoo doll where he stabs the voodoo doll and it causes that guy to be stabbed.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand if it was a voodoo situation or a magical lightning bolt situation. Kenzie, do you know?
Well, Chucky is demonic. So demonic, like forces and beings do possess items often. That's kind of where the Annabelle doll, things like that come from. So Chucky's essentially a demonic spirit in the doll.
Okay.
So he's doing evil things. He's stabbing the voodoo doll.
He's doing evil things. He kills the one doctor at the mental hospital because the kid, I feel so bad for the kid. He's like, hey, I'm not killing my sister-in-law and everybody else. It's
tough.
It's this doll doing it. And they put the kid in a mental hospital. And then at the mental hospital, he's like, hey, so that doll that's been killing all these people, he's here. And they still don't believe the kid. And it's not until the doll kills the doctor that's there that they finally start to take the kid seriously.
Well, that showed him for not believing the kid. You gotta, sometimes you should believe.
Actually, that's probably the one murder the kid did do. He's like, I'm sick of you.
Yeah, it's just somebody believe me for the love of God. Now, Brian, you did mention the scene where they find out, this is after a few murders have taken place. There's a scene where Chucky convinces the kid to skip out on school. And this is where I get a little lost, and I'm probably not going to accurately portray what happens in the movie, although I've been doing that thus far. But the kid leaves school and ends up at what was maybe a crack house. Like, he ends up in a house that isn't his. And there's a guy shooting a gun at Chucky. I think you guys know what scene I'm talking about.
Yep.
And the guy shoots the gun, and then the house blows up in flames.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand what happened there. Why did the house blow up?
Well, again, the demon, the devil, is at play here.
And I'm no fan of the devil.
Well, some people are, on the fence.
Yes.
But that's part of it, why you can't shoot Chucky and why that happened. I don't have a full explanation either.
The demonic presence that's in Chucky is a serial killer who transfers his spirit to Chucky.
Okay.
So that's the demonic presence in him.
They should have said that.
There's more movies, to be honest. I don't remember if they address it in that movie or if they address it in the other ones because there's so many. But the demonic presence in him is from a serial killer.
Okay, that's great to know. Okay. They should have just put that in text on the screen at the start of the movie. Hey, just so you know, he's possessed by a serial killer. That would have made this whole thing much easier to understand.
I gotta admit, I can't remember if that's in Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, or Child's Play, just a redo.
I thought it was in the first one. I haven't seen it. I've seen so many. I've seen all of them, and then I haven't seen it, maybe in the correct order in a long time. I thought it was in the first one, which is why I didn't understand your confusion, but maybe it's not.
Well, maybe I just didn't understand the movie.
Maybe you didn't understand it.
I'll tell you what, we're up against it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with more on casing Child's Play and why maybe you should go see it this Halloween season.
I want to talk about the scene that scared me most, and I'm just now learning about the existence of Bride of Chucky, and boy, do I have some questions about that.
All that in 6 minutes with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, we're in the middle and getting to the conclusion of Case's movie review of Child's Play, Chucky. And going into the break there, we had a lot of controversy, a lot of text, probably about 400 texts coming in where Case, part of the movie, not necessarily understanding it, on Chucky and how he got his demonic powers and how he can not just take a bullet and maybe they could just done that and then there wouldn't be no more Chucky and there wouldn't be 8 more movies. Well, we got a text in from Juice from 224, and he says this. Case, this was not hard to understand. Charles Lee Ray is the serial killer who transformed his soul or transferred his soul to the doll. The doll's body won't last, so he needs to find a young person's body, the boy, so he can live on forever. Charles Lee Ray's name is only mentioned 1,000 times throughout the movie. Now, I'm glad you mentioned that, Juice, because me and Kenzie have seen this movie and love it, but it's been a minute since both of us have seen it. So when Case was describing it, you get caught up in his description and his review. And yeah, how do you answer that? What were you doing?
Well, I would like to add to Brian's explanation here. Is I said the serial killer possesses the doll, right? And you're like, oh, maybe it was like a different movie. I'm like, I guess maybe it was. I haven't seen it in a long time. Was that in number 2? Everyone texted in, it's the first scene of the first movie. Were you still getting like a snack or something? Did you start the movie?
Yeah, I had an icy machine installed in my studio apartment yesterday. I was getting an icy.
Well, the popcorn could have stopped popping. You're like, well, it's time, baby.
I was eating a salad during this movie, actually.
Ooh.
But
you sat down and go, what'd I miss? I'm not going to rewind. Why do that?
I guess it wasn't clear, and maybe it's just because it's such an old movie. This wasn't a 4K restoration. Maybe I couldn't see what was happening. It was awfully grainy. The name Charles Lee Ray did not ring a bell to me.
No, he says it's mentioned 1,000 times in the movie. I didn't do the count myself.
But that's good to know, because I heard the name Chucky, but I don't remember hearing the name Charles Lee Ray in this movie.
Yeah.
But I also might have been so scared because, last year as we talked about these scary movies, I kept on getting asked over and over again, whether it was for The Shining or whether it was for Saw, what was the thing that scared me the most in these movies. And sometimes I'm just so apathetic to this genre that it's like, I don't know, I was unfazed, if not bored by what I saw. Chucky, Child's Play, as I learned is what the movie is called.
Yes.
not the Chucky doll.
Yes, I thought the movie was called Chucky. It turns out it's called Child's Play. And then I also should note, I watched the right Child's Play, but I did almost buy the 2019 remake of this movie by accident.
The reboot.
That would have been so disappointing.
1988. I watched the right one.
I got one more text before you get back to your review.
Sure, go ahead.
You opened by saying that the doll was sold to the mom by a homeless guy, and it was in a Chicago movie.
Yes.
And you pointed out that it was the 80s, so maybe they should have been selling cocaine then instead of kids' toys.
And that's a reflection on Ronald Reagan's America, not me.
Well, Hillary texted in during that part of your segment and said, that is actually filmed behind the water tower place.
Oh, my old stomping ground.
So she said, don't you live near, Brian? I used to live near there. And she says, there's no way that man doesn't have diamonds and cocaine in that jacket.
That's kind of what I I was waiting. It's like, well, if you're going to buy the toy, you might.
Yeah, but that's not what she was buying. Just buying a doll. He's got everything.
I mean, the scene would have been just buying some cocaine and then leaving and probably overdosing, and there's no series. There's no movie.
That's a more interesting movie. That I'd like to see.
That's enough.
All right.
Wait, I want to know what scared Case.
Yes, Child's Play, I will say, scary. Did not like it. Not a big fan of this Chucky guy. Got me a few different times to jump off my couch. Most notably, when after gaslighting this young child into, oh, the doll's not killing anybody. You must be crazy. You belong in a mental hospital, you weird kid. The mom picks up the Chucky doll, the box, and notices that the batteries are still in the box. So the doll has been operating without battery power. And when she picks up Chucky and his head flips around and the batteries still aren't in, and he says something weird like, would you like to play a game or something? I don't remember what Chucky's
It's not
catchphrase.
Saw.
I don't remember what it is. Again, I didn't know who Charles Lee Ray was until 5 minutes ago. But when the doll turns his head around without the batteries in, did not like that at all. Way too scary for my liking. Yeah, it was terrifying. I hated it. What do you want me to say? I hated it. It was scary. Now I as an action figure collector myself, now I'm afraid that all my action figures are going to be possessed.
Well,
Do we have that clip?
We've got a clip of, I wanted to complain about how bad the child actor was, and the clip that we have is when they light the doll on fire at the very end of the movie. We can play that clip real quick, because I would like to make fun of the child momentarily.
Andy, no, please. We're friends to the end. Remember?
This is the end, friend.
Again, with the screaming sound effects coming in pretty strong there.
That's the last half hour of the movie is just people screaming.
Yeah. It's awesome.
It's something. I don't know. Child's Play is such a weird movie. I couldn't understand it. I kind of felt like I was watching
What
The
did
Matrix.
that kid do wrong? I thought he sounded great.
Let me do the line again. Here we go.
Andy, no, please. We're friends to the end. Remember?
This is the end, friend.
He wants to kill this little piece of crap. It's ruining his life.
I feel bad for the child because nobody believed him, but I was not a fan of his performance in this movie.
I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he was in the following movies or not, or that kid, did he grow up? What happened?
Yeah, I guess I should really quick figure out what happened to that kid because I did less research for this than I normally do.
Is he a game show host now or something?
I don't know if he's a game show host. We'll have an update on that kid and momentarily. I have to find out more information about him. But Child's Play, look, it's a terrifying movie. It's partially terrifying because it makes no sense. I did not know who Charles Lee Ray was until just now, but it did spook me. If we're looking for spooky month and we're looking to make me physically uncomfortable, it made me physically uncomfortable and emotionally uncomfortable multiple times throughout the movie. And for that reason, look, not a great movie, not one that I'm going to revisit time and time again, but one that I would give 5 Chucky dolls out of 10 for.
5 out of 10. I looked it up. Alex Vincent was the actor that played Andy.
Oh,
the kid.
That Alex Vincent? No, just kidding. I have no idea who he is.
So he was in 2, Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, and then the Sci-Fi USA Network television Chucky series from 21 to 24, 2021, 24. So he's pretty active up until this last year with the Chucky franchise.
Well, thank God they keep on pumping out shows.
Guy can
still in trouble.
He looks healthy. He can still eat from all these movies. He's doing pretty good. All right, there you go. If you missed any of that review, just go back to the podcast later on. The earlier segment of it started at 8 o'clock with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Case's movie review every Friday at 8. And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre next week. The original, the 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We'll do that live from Alexander's in St. Charles. We'll be broadcasting live next Friday. Brian and Kenzie.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.